We'll just have a nice discussion. I'm going to probably mention, okay, we're live now. I'm going to click out of that to come back to the meeting. So I see you there. Okay, White Wolf, I have you live. Let's see. Hold on. Let me pull it up on my phone because I like to say hello to people. And people will start to join us in. And let me lower my volume on the phone. Okay, if you'd like to share it out anywhere, please take the time to do that.
Yeah, Carla will help me out.
Okay, Carla's helping. Okay, Carla's in the background. Hi, Julie. And Destiny Marie is watching. I never met. Hold on, let me pull that back up. Hi, Julie. How are you? Hi, hello, Destiny Marie. I've never met you. But I'm John Fiore, guys. My guest is my young brother, White Wolf. Hi, Mary. How are you? That I just formally met him like 10 minutes ago. Jessica, our dear Jessica, has a knack for bringing on all kinds of different spiritual thought leaders onto a place to heal. And I was just telling White Wolf that I out of all of the different groups and pages that I've been on, I like the idea of the no separation. What I mean by that is that I feel, and I said this to my buddy here a few minutes ago, I feel that it's very important for people to hear all kinds of messages, all kinds of God source energy. And if there's something that they don't agree with, whether it's something I say or what he says, that you have the power. Okay, that's another thing that I like that White Wolf does. He empowers people to click the switch, turn it off. Hey, that's not for me. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with you not liking something. We try, me as an old EFT practitioner and intuitive, and White Wolf as a young man who does this, we try to empower people to listen to their own intuition, okay? And we try to help you to understand that everybody has got special gifts and talents. And one of the things I love about A Place to Heal is that Jessica seems to find us and says, okay, you're going to be an admin. Okay, so White Wolf's an admin, Carla's an admin, I'm an admin. I didn't even meet these folks. And when I listened to them, I said, wow, their energy is beautiful. And here we are, we're in the same group, and I never really got to speak with both of them today. That's why I wanted to bring White Wolf on and have a little personal discussion because from the little bit that I've listened to your lives, I love your message. It's very positive and uplifting. And I find it kind of amazing that someone who's as young as you, look, I'm an old dude, 67, and my wisdom came down through the ranks. You've picked up some wisdom of the ages, I would say, as a young fellow. And however you're getting that, whether you're being guided, that's fine. That's all great. But what I feel is important is you're sharing your wisdom, okay? And I like that. I'm sorry, this is such a long introduction. But okay, so White Wolf, thanks for joining me today. And And for anybody that's here for the first time, hello. I'd like you to listen to this man. Please share out. Okay. Oh, hello, Jersey. That's got to be Kim. That's got to be Kim in the background there. Hi, Jen Marie. And let me say hello to everybody. Josie and Jan and Mary Atkins. Can you please help me with my life? Mary says. Well, Mary, listen to this conversation, and you know something. You didn't show up here by accident. There's no coincidence. There's going to be a message here from you from Spirit, and that's how Spirit works. Spirit works through the people He puts here. Okay, me, White Wolf, anybody that's channeling their truth. That's how Spirit works. They work their truth through other people. So hopefully you'll pick up on something. My buddy, good morning.
Good
Again,
morning.
that was a long introduction. We spoke about this off camera a few minutes ago. And I'm going to ask you again to repeat. How did you how are you able to channel such beautiful wisdom and knowledge? How did you become consciously aware of your spiritual journey here on the planet as a human? How did that start for you? Start
Well,
anywhere you want to.
um,
Wolf, go ahead.
I was, well, firstly, I was working a job I was unhappy with. I was working 12 days straight at a golf course.
Okay.
And I asked one night, God's source energy, I asked, and I said, can I please get out of this rut? Can I please change? Can I please, have a really awesome, epic life? And then I met Carla, and everywhere it seemed like I kept getting bumped into her everywhere. And I think it was like God's source energy and people on the other side kind of was like, we want these two to be together. So that's kind of how it started. And every time I was with her, I kind of seen what she did. And we contacted the spirit and thought we should do this stuff together. We went to Arizona, had a lot of psychic appointments and a UFO tour. And they all said the same thing for me, that the next 6 months to a year, that I would be on a spiritual journey. And here I am talking to you through this camera. And it's actually really, really amazing that I'm to this point. My life has been a living prophecy for over 6 months. And as I started being around Carla and being in Arizona, I started getting this like rush of energy, and it was gold aura, and I never felt it before. And I've always liked the idea of that there is a creator. And then I realized that we are the creator. We are in likeness of him. And when I had a psychic appointment with a woman in a psychic shop in Arizona, she confirmed that we had past lifetimes together. She confirmed that I had a lot of mastery that I forgot about. And she just confirmed all the things that we were going through. And then we had a UFO tour with Michael, and our birthdays were not very far apart. He was very in tune with, his gifts and stuff. He had like the whole solar system downloaded into his brain when he was like 6 years old, and he was telling me about my stuff. And I asked him, I said, there's people telling me that I was going to be on a spiritual journey in 6 months. And he said, you missed a key phrase there. And he said, you're already on the spiritual journey. He said, but you got a lot to learn. And then, at first I didn't take it as serious. And then I had an appointment with Thomas Sawyer. And if you don't know Thomas Sawyer, he is extremely gifted. And he's one of the guys I really look up to for my healings. And I take a lot from him. But then he confirmed all the things that were happening to me and Carla, and that our dynamic of our relationship was supposed to happen. It was prophetic, that people on the other side had a doing in that, that my sister, my mother, and her father, who is deceased now, God rest his soul. And he confirmed all the things. I was a shaman with him in another lifetime. And then I started to really learn about all these things about myself. And I realized how powerful I really was. And then from then on, I started doing live feeds. And then I started getting more and more into my mastery, looking through the eyes of an enlightened individual. And it's really hard because I had to deconstruct all the things that I once was, and I had to heal a lot of the things that I once was. And I feel like for me and Carla, we both were healing each other along the journey, and we were supposed to be together to do this work, to hold retreats, to get ourselves out there. And I've already had thousands upon thousands of people watch me, which is very, very good. And and then I had that appointment with Thomas, and then I just started to change, and I started to grow, and I noticed how each live I was doing, I was progressing on this. So really, if I didn't meet Carla, I feel as God's source energy was, bringing her into my life and people on the other side, so that I learned my spiritual path, and that I've had open-eyed visions while I was at the job I was at. And then I started to have visions, not only of me doing a retreat in front of like a whole audience of people, and I'm like in a shirt, and I'm doing my energy and stuff. And then I realized I started researching this stuff. I started watching wisdom teachings with David Wilcock. I started really researching, like reading books like The Dragon Book by Diana Cooper, learning about the monad, the I am presence, 12 people that are on the same spiritual journey as you, and you're supposed to align yourself with that. And so what I do, I surround myself with a lot of inspiration, if you will. Like I listen to a lot of people, and I'll even watch a movie. I'll have a conversation with somebody, and it will turn into a live feed. So I feel as if, Carla, at first it was really kind of strange, because there was a lot of mentorship, and I was like her student, but we were also in love with each other, and I got a lot of flack from a lot of people. I got a lot of flack from friends, family, you name it. I got flack. Just being with her and then talking about all this stuff, because it's beyond their consciousness, because they are unconscious. They don't know this level of understanding. And when you talk about it, and when I started to ask, believe, and receive in my life, I wanted to get rid of my job that I hated. That happened. I wanted to find my best friend. I did that. She's sitting out there. And I just wanted to change. I wanted my life to get better. And ever since I started aligning my thoughts with that, my life has been a living prophecy ever since. And I'm not going back.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to, when someone's channeling like you are now, I like to pick up on, I like to pick up what I feel is most important, or not most important. It's all important. What I like to pick up on something that can help our audience.
Yes.
Why, Wolf? You spoke about being in a situation in your life, a job that was unfulfilling. Okay, and you had the inspiration, the thought, whatever it was, to come to you to ask. What did you ask for? What did you do? You said you asked God for what?
I said, I want to get away from my job. I want something that fulfills me. I want to find my best friend. I was kind of lonely. And then I really asked very hard, and I was just like, I'm so sick of this. I moved out of my parents, and then moved in with my roommate, and then it turned into me moving with her. So I just asked God source energy one night. I said,
I
please.
asked for what I want.
Yeah, I asked for literally what I want, and I received it.
Okay.
And I truly believe that it was going to work. And that's the mindset that we should all have, is that we need to start believing that it might happen. I might be able to levitate. I might be able to bend that spoon with my mind. But the fact is that we're conditioned by society that you can't do it. You can't have the things that you want. You are hopeless. And it's really when people that are older and they want to spread their misery on you, it's just really they've lived a more miserable existence and they're trying to impart that vibration onto you. And it does not mean that they encompass more wisdom. It doesn't have, it's not a matter of age. It's a matter of like how old your soul is and what your consciousness truly is. And we're conditioned to do what our family think is right, you know, and it just goes,
Society, religion.
and that's the thing. You know, I've been baptized in the church. I did the whole church deal. But that didn't give me a sense of grace and a sense of universal love that we're able to impart on people. We're literally the walking revelation. Like we're the new age that is going to help people balance the yin and yang and put it together. And I think that because it's so far-fetched, because it's so out of the norm of what people are really used to, it looks always spooky. It looks like it's evil, when really it's God moving his way around. And we've had the church and all these other things just kind of have its control on us. And that is not God's love. That, and the fact that we're on here talking about this is God's love. It's God moving his way and starting the
Couldn't agree
meditation
more.
revolution.
Yes. So, okay, from your story, I'd like you to tell our audience how to start. What if you want something? Get clear on what you want. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk.
So
Speak from
literally
there, White
you
Wolf. Go
can,
ahead.
it doesn't matter if it's 6 months, it doesn't matter. It's the law of attraction. It's literally just saying, I have a goal. But when you're like, oh, I'm always in debt. Oh, I'm woe is me. Oh, I hate this. I hate that. That sends the vibration that you're asking for. Like you're asking for that negativity. But if you start putting blessings on your life when you wake up in the morning and have like a good intention and have a good attitude, and you mold to what you want, like just say, I want a new car in the next year. It might happen in 2 months because there's always a lag, but it will come in divine timing. It's like, if I want wealth, I have to start thinking that I have $1 million in my bank account when I only have $2 in my bank account. It's using the law of attraction to your best ability. And they always say, people always say that you're defrauding people, but they don't know what you're pulling out of your own pocket to do all of this work. And the only way to do that is to attract the wealth, and then you taking care of yourself, and then you are able to take care of others. You're able to, you know, take care of them, host a retreat. You know, that takes a lot of money. But people in society, in your family, it's like, oh, one day you're going to have kids. You're going to do this. You're going to be exactly like me. You're going to be as miserable like me. That is the vibration that they're sending off to you. So when you start focusing and realigning your thoughts with what you truly desire, it will come to you in divine timing. If you set a goal, if you believe that you can fly one day, it will truly happen. We just got to start believing. It's the fact of you just believing that it might happen. You know, that,
And part of that belief, this is what's coming to me, White Wolf.
okay.
Part
Yeah.
of that belief is having a strong trust and faith. Sally Love said he got clear about what he wanted. I couldn't agree with that more. I think,
Yes.
hey, look, when you're in the middle of a job, an undesired, whatever it is that you're in, okay? This is what's hard for people to understand, White Wolf. You created that. You created this obstacle so that you can work your way through it. It's just the way we're designed as humans, okay? So that you could work your way through it and find the joy that you want, because the joy is always waiting for you out there, but you got to ask for it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that key point, when you found yourself in a miserable job, hey, God, I'd like something better. I'd like a fulfilling life, a joyful life. I'd like to meet somebody. You put all of this stuff out there, and I like to, White Wolf, we get into these conversations of attraction.
Yeah.
And one of my purposes on this planet, speaking with this Jersey accent of mine, is to kind of transmute or translate this language of attraction into common everyday street talk so that people can understand. So, me with my Jersey City voice, I'm telling you, what this young man did was he created something that was pretty tough for him. He created it. Okay, never mind how he did that. He did that as a child, or it doesn't matter how he did it. He created it. But the good news is there's always a way out if you have faith and trust. And then he put that faith and trust to work. This is the way I translate this now. He put that faith and trust in God and said, hey, God, I want something better. And then he waited.
Radical change.
And what's that?
A radical change. I didn't even finish my 2 weeks. If it felt good, I quit my job.
I wanted.
Radical change will change the dynamic of the whole thing.
Okay, you quit your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before anything even happened.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to finish my 2 weeks, and then I had that appointment with Thomas Sawyer, and I asked him, I said, should I quit? And then he looked at me with a brother, admiration. And he said, yes, it feels good. And it felt good when I did it, because I was released of the same day I was having, the same routine. And when you change your routine, your old reality falls away, and then a new one's waiting to blossom.
Okay. So what I'm hearing now, look, I want to be very clear about this.
Yeah.
With people. You were able to make this change without hurting yourself in any way. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for the fact that you were able to make this change sooner than the 2 weeks that you wanted to without hurting yourself, you took a shot and went for it. Okay. Guys, that is what you call trust and faith. I have a similar story. I was so miserable in a sales job. I had a business back in New Jersey, right? Well, for a long time, I was like third generation. I grew up in that family dynamic. You gotta follow in your father's foot, all of that stuff. And you know what? I'm very grateful for all of it. God provided us with a very good life. However, after I got rid of that business, I went into a sales job, and I was miserable with this company. And financially, I wasn't rich, but I was okay, to the point where I said, you know something? I just can't take this life anymore. I'm going to quit this job. I gave my notice, and you know something? I gave notice, and I stayed with the company until they were able to hire somebody, because I said to them, listen, this is not a malicious thing going on between us. I said, I just want to change. You guys could use a change, and let's work this out amicably. I kid you not. I walked into one of my stores that I was servicing, and a salesman for another company that I wanted to work for comes up to me and says, I swear to God, do you know anybody looking for a job? I said, what do you mean? He says, I want to retire. This man that was speaking to me had a route of customers in the area where I'm living now, White Wolf, that I wanted to service. And so I said, you can't make this up. But the moral of the story is, listen to what he's saying, listen to what I'm saying. in our own little ways, without hurting ourselves, we took a leap of faith.
Right.
Okay. We took a leap of faith. This doesn't work for me no more, this miserable life. Okay. Well, if you quit tomorrow without the 2 weeks, is it going to kill you? No, so I left. I took that leap of faith in God. Okay. And so that is what I'm asking people to pick up on with your story, White Wolf. And, I'm sorry interrupted you, but
No, no.
I feel it's important for people to pick up on these important,
Synchronistic moments.
yes, these moments that, hey, look, are you hearing what this fella's saying? There was trust there. Uh, no, Spirit's not going to come down and yell from the mountaintops, hey, stop right there. I want everybody to see he trusted me. I want you to hear that in his story, because that's what's happening here. And this is why this is a place to heal, White Wolf. I want people to hear these stories. How did you do it? How did I do it? How did Carla do it? How did Jessica do it? You know what? I want people to hear our stories about how we made things work. And it's always the same theme. Hey, we asked for what we want. We went forward in faith and trust in some way. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's like synchronistic moments. And I noticed when I was with Carla, we would be talking about something. It's like, maybe she wanted to get an RV. It's as simple, and I would like to use an example. Just literally, like, we're talking about an RV at a Mexican restaurant, and then all of a sudden the RV comes down the street, and it's like, well, it's just like God kind of like, okay, here's an option for you. You could either take it or not. And it's like, that doesn't mean you have to do that particular thing. It's just God will show you signs of what you need to pick up on. And I think people need to pick up on those moments where you can see a way out. And it's like when Carla told me that I could just do the work with her and I could leave my job. That was like, and it was funny, that day at work, I found like a Bob Seger guitar pick. It was a weird silver bullet band, and I picked it up, and
No
she
kidding.
texted me and said, just quit. And I'm like, wow, I see a way out. It was like it was showing me signs, and I kept on having like open-eyed visions at work, showing me signs of like what I need to be doing, what I need to focus my creative energy on.
Amazing.
And you just got to look for those synchronistic signs. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. So you
we're
gotta,
each other.
that's a great point. You gotta look for
The signs.
the signs of God working in your life. Okay.
Right.
It could be a number of different things. And you know what? I'd like to offer some comfort to everybody. There will always be signs. If you're in a place of doubt, fear, that you're in such a deep place of distrust, you're going to miss those signs, guys. So it's important for you to stay to the best of your ability. I understand that life can be challenging. To the best of your ability, I don't care how you like to do this, it's important for you to keep your vibration up, keep your mood up. If that means, because we become magnets for things we want to attract when our mood is up. I'm using the word mood instead of vibration so people could understand me.
You're right. Yes.
Keep your mood up means that, hey, don't eat crap food. Don't, hey, look, go for a walk in the fresh air. Look at a tree and appreciate it. Try to keep your vibration up. There is signs of God in everything you encounter. I like to make this example, White Wolf. Suppose you're on Fifth Avenue in New York City. There's nothing but buildings, right? Buildings, cars,
Right.
people running around. It's busy. Everybody's involved in business. Okay. And so I like to tell people, do this little exercise. Look up at that Empire State Building. That was created by God. Oh, what do you mean it was created by God? It wasn't created by God. Well, wait a minute, hold on, let's back up. God created the man who had the idea. God created the man who had the idea to go to engineering school to plan that building out. And it's a magnificent building. So the point is to try and see God in all things. Okay? It's an exercise. You could stop yourself and instead of walking down Fifth Avenue and saying, look at this mess. No, look at this beauty that God created through man. Okay? So I'm asking people, White Wolf, to find appreciation in things that are
It's
right
inclusive
around
of
us.
life. Yes.
Because tell everybody what this does.
When you
From,
start appreciating the things that you have, like, okay, I like this coffee cup. I love that I can drink coffee. I love that I'm in this lovely house right now having this interview. I love the dogs that I have, my English golden retriever and this cockapoo. You know, when you start appreciating the simplicity and just being more happier, it just changes when you start appreciating the simplicity that
okay,
you're able
now,
to see through your eyes, you know.
yes. Uh, Take that further for me, White Wolf. What starts to happen in the law of attraction and energy when you start appreciating things?
It starts to come into your reality
Okay, because we're
because
attracting that.
yeah, you're aligning your thoughts because everybody always has these horrible thoughts of anger, stress, and then the brain waves are not coherent. You know, they're not, focusing on, you're just kind of like, but when your brain waves are coherent and they're on point and you're thinking properly because you're happier and you're more relaxed, and then everything starts to fall into place and it starts to be easier. Everybody thinks that life has to be hard. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. It's just people wanting to stay in that muck. They're wanting to stay in the mud.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Being an energy healer, helper, the way you are, let's give people give them a suggestion of, let's say they're caught in a, a, a very challenging situation and they're caught up in fear and distrust. They're caught up in a very heavy, negative, low vibrational energy. What is something they could do? Give a suggestion. What is something they could do, White Wolf, that can help them? What would you do?
Well, in that situation, I would take a step back
Take a step back. Okay.
and I would, just really say that, like, what are you meaning exactly? Like, caught up in like a situation, like they're like after an argument or what?
No, let's say it's a life situation where, um, they got heavy family troubles, or um, they're with a partner that maybe is abusive, or they're caught up in a very dark money situation, or some a pattern of negativity that they can't seem to get out of. You said take a step back, and okay, take a step back. I like, hey, look, these little simple tips can change people's lives, a White Wolf. And so you were there. How did you do it? Okay, you took a
Oh,
step back. What did you do?
I had to bring it out into the light.
Bring it to the
If
light.
you have negative beliefs or you're going through something really bad, just admit sort of defeat. So you're not having the pressure to prove, like, okay, I don't have the pressure to prove that I have to be worthy to everyone else except myself. So
Oh,
bring it out into life and keep saying it to yourself. And once it starts sounding like, okay, maybe this negative belief isn't true about me, or what I'm going through isn't true about me, and then make that radical change and get rid of the toxic people in your life. Like maybe it's a relationship, maybe, you know, you have to stay away from family. But if you bring these negative beliefs or this fear, this turmoil, and bring it out into the light, and you say it to yourself, because saying positive things is like putting a band-aid on a gash. It's not gonna like heal it.
Love that.
Not gonna like, you're gonna rip it off and you didn't let the scab heal. So if you bring everything out into the light and keep saying it to yourself, like, I'm not worthy, I'm a failure, then you will have that pressure, or I am fearful. And then when it starts to sound as if it's like pointless to feel that way anymore, that means that you were believing something about yourself that was not true. Or if you really need to take those toxic people that are not matching your vibration, then you got to do that. And that could mean even family, that could mean a boyfriend, that could mean a whole multitude of things. But you have to bring these things out into the light. Maybe you were ashamed about how you handled this situation. If you don't face it head on, if you don't look it in the face and bring those negative beliefs out into the light, or whatever situation it might be, you'll never internally deal with it.
Okay, beautiful God source moment here, White Wolf, because you probably, I don't know if you even knew this, but an EFT teaches this in the sense that in order to gain momentum in the direction of the light, you got to acknowledge, accept, you have to surrender, is kind of like the language, to what
Right.
is in the moment. And that's called self-compassion. Okay.
Right.
You got to, hey, God, I'm feeling miserable right now. I preach this stuff day and night. And for you to say it here in your own way, oh my God, this is
You're like,
beautiful.
finally, someone listened to me.
Thank you. I mean, no, look, I've been saying it from my perspective for years now, but to have my guest come on, we didn't rehearse this,
No.
and to come out and say this stuff, you got to surrender to what is. God, I put this in your hands. I feel like a
Leave it up to
failure.
God. Just leave everything up to God and bring those beliefs or whatever the troubles is to the light.
Bring it to the light.
And
What's true?
yeah,
What's true? Bring it to the light.
you know, and if you're then you won't have that fear. Each on this path, you won't have that fear. You won't. I literally virtually live in no fear, because I know I have guides, and I know I have angels around me, and I know I have God's source energy in my hands. And it's like, I set the intention before I got on here today. I said, we've already done this interview, you know, and I do that with all of my practices, my lives. I like to call them my teachings, but I'm not at that level yet, even though I might be teaching. But
You are.
yeah, but like I just set the intention of like, I aced the interview. You know, we had a good jive together, and it seems like it's flowing good, but it's really just our higher selves moving the information onto one another.
I couldn't agree more. Right? We're just telling truth here.
Yeah, and if we exercise our truth, it allows people to kind of bring themselves out into the light, allows them to be more comfortable and that they're not alone. Because a lot of people like me, my family, thinks what I'm doing is like defrauding people. It's evil, you know, or whatever. But
Well,
at the same time, you don't feed into that energy of what people want you to do. Sometimes you got to turn the other direction and walk into the highest light of your own destiny. If you know, if you've had visions, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen, but it's showing you a glimpse of what could happen. It's showing, like I've seen in my future where I'm doing retreats with my girlfriend, and we got like thousands of people there. And so it's basically like spirit's like, if you stay on this path, your life will become this.
okay. And when you envision doing those spiritual retreats, this is important.
Yes.
What do you feel in your body? What do you feel when you envision that?
I feel as if I am
Uh,
a,
what? Let me. I'm sorry to
no,
put
you're fine. What?
in a place that. What emotion do you feel when you envision doing those retreats? with your partner? What do you feel emotionally in your body?
I feel a sense of like um, confidence, and I feel like I'm very compassionate, but I look as if everybody is like my children. I kind of see myself as a leader, as a public
Okay.
leader.
Okay. Now that's important. Very, very good, White Wolf. I wanted to draw that out. I feel confident. I feel like a leader. I feel a sense of, okay, I'm going to translate this for everybody. So he he's envisioning this stuff with a sense of self love and appreciation. Okay, he didn't say the words, but compassionate. He wants to help, meaning that you want to help people. Okay,
Absolutely. It's my
your intention is to help others.
yes.
Okay, so there's the compassionate, very high vibrational uh, 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 emotion. Okay, vibration. You're compassionate, you have love for other people, you have a desire to show other people a way to the light. That's what a light worker is. So he's feeling those emotions as he envisions what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to help people to understand is you're finding the joy in what you want to attract. Now you're finding the joy in it. Now you're seeing it, you're feeling it, and that's what's going to bring it to you. The
Yeah.
excitement of helping people. I'm going to be in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm going to help them. I'm going to, okay. Now if that the exact thing doesn't come to him, I could tell you this: a form or a version of something better or something similar or something that you're going to know is, oh my God, this is better than I even imagined, will come to you because you're in that vibration. So
Right.
what are we asking people to do here, White Wolf? We're asking them to, you could visualize what you want and get into the
Absolutely.
feeling of what you want.
And
What do
see
you see
yourself in it,
yourself doing? Right. Go
and
ahead.
put yourself in it and feel it and really believe it that one day you're going to look at people and they're going to feel you and they're going to feel your presence and your leadership and what you have to share so that they can do it themselves, so they can be a teacher of enlightenment is what I kind of want to describe myself, or I want what I aspire to be. And I really owe it to like a lot of people like MorningStar, Thomas Sawyer, and even Sally Love, because they are so gifted and they were kind of in my corner. So I didn't really have to go through this alone. So I was very fortunate in that regard, that I'm glad I had someone in my corner, because if I went through this alone, I would have had a lot of tough lessons to learn.
Okay. So Sally's saying there are many different kinds of signs: angel numbers, repetitive
Oh,
phrases,
absolutely.
songs, feathers, animals crossing your path, symbols, license plates, and signage. Sally, thank you for that. Yeah, you were responding to something we were speaking about a little while ago. Well, first thing I want to tell you, White Wolf, you're already doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. You're already doing it on this live. And when I hear your lives, you're already uh, you are a light worker. You're not going to be. You are already. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I understand in your language. I aspire to be something maybe more. Okay, and that's fine. But I want you to know you are already touching people's lives. And I love Sally's comment about looking for the signs when we were talking about signs before.
Absolutely.
Um, so Sally is one of your connections.
Yeah, I met her through Morningstar before, and she's very, very gifted. She has a very strong femininity to her, and I do too as a male. I have a strong feminine side to me, and I think that that shows in my healings and stuff. So, but no, just meeting all these like different people, and I didn't really know them from Adam, but they just had a sense of admiration for me, and just everything that Carla has taught me has been so not only beneficial for me, but beneficial for both of us, that we're, you know, in a relationship, and it's like we have a partnership, but we're just, people feel our energy and they sense that it's coming all from God. And that's really the intent, is that our energy reinvigorates people, and that we are, you know, a bridge to others' hearts and minds. And I couldn't feel more happier about that. I always knew I was going to do something inspirational, but I just never knew what it was going to be. And all of a sudden, I guess it's this.
Uh, yeah, obviously, you know, that's what I'm saying about the things that we attract.
Yeah.
White Wolf, we don't, you know what? We're living them. We're living our, we're attracting all the time.
Yeah.
We're living out that attraction in the present. So, guys, you could put a little work and effort into what you'd like to attract. Now, I suggest you include it to be something that comes from love, okay?
Right.
Something that comes from the light, something that comes from God. Because if it's from love, it's from God. And you know what? Where by design, as God's source energy, we're here to perpetuate and live that. Okay, there is really nothing. Love is the ultimate energy, and we're here to spread that, perpetuate it, translate that into our everyday human existence.
Put blessings on your life.
Excuse me,
Put blessings on your life.
put blessings on my life, everybody that I meet. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what this conversation is about. Learning that you can flip this switch in a second. Okay, I choose to go with thoughts of love and God, and I'm going to work. I'm going to work my way through my stuff. I'm going to acknowledge and accept myself where I am now. That is self forgiveness, self compassion, surrendering to God. And then I would listen to what White Wolf is saying, what I'm saying, what Sally just said in a comment. Look for signs. Okay. You might be sitting in the grass one day on your rump, and a squirrel comes by and stands up on his hind legs and just looks at you. And you might feel the presence of God right there. And if you feel it, it is so. It's not a magical mystery. It's not going to come in the form of, it could come in the form of lightning bolts. Some people get lightning bolts. Like I had a stroke 3 years ago that kicked my ass.
Yeah.
That woke me up because I wasn't listening to the signs that were coming my way. So I needed that dark experience to kick my ass. So
Right.
I want you to know that you don't have to go through severe trauma the way I did. Okay, we're here to teach you that you have choices to make your life better. Okay, look, you're in the human. Are you going to get colds and viruses and flus? We're living in a pandemic right now. Are we always going to go up and down in our vibration? Yes, that's part of the contract we came here to live and witness. However, we're trying to teach you ways of making it better for yourself, finding the joy. Okay, in a way, I got to say this, White Wolf. In a way, my downward. Okay, I don't want to mislead anybody. My downward spiral days sometimes are. I smile at God and I say, okay, I get it. When I'm down, when I'm down some days and I'm able to look at that, I say, okay, if this is a bad day, I thank it. I I'm saying, my God, if this is a bad day, look at the days that some people have. So I'm so grateful for even the bad days because it propels me back up to the good days even better.
Absolutely.
Right, Wolf. So,
It's beautiful. Yeah.
and so I'm trying to teach people you can work this. In a sense, here's what's coming to me right now. God wants to pamper and caress us all the time. God, source energy, wants to give us what we want. But if you don't get into some kind of flow of that and understanding or belief that that's true, if you feel victimized all the time, there are things that you have to look at in your life. Forgive yourself, start over, get some help with that. Okay. Go to people like White Wolf, Carla, Jess, me. We're light workers, and we're going to help you to work through that stuff to see, to help you see that the light is just a little bit clouded with judgment right now. It's usually self-judgment that keeps us down, White
Oh,
Wolf.
absolutely.
Some kind of self-judgment. And I like to do this with the vortex. The self-judgment, this is you beating yourself up. This is you constantly negative self-talk. Okay. This is where it is in the law of attraction. Low vibrational talk. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of God's love is self-judgment. It's down here in low territory. So if you're listening to this young man and me, and we're trying to tell you ways of getting back up into the higher vibrational, and why you want to be up here is the energy of what's up here is going to attract more of the same by default. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Okay. As I'm saying that, White Wolf, I keep interrupting you, but I'm sorry. You're bringing forth so much beauty here that it's
Yeah,
coming
we're
out.
interrupting each other. It's great. It's great.
We had a great conversation. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, is there anything there that I said that you want to add to, or that that you don't agree with, or how do you feel about what I just said?
No, it resonates, and you have very good energy.
Okay.
And I like how you want to make your audience understand it, and as if we're not talking down to them like children, but we're talking to them like children, and getting the understanding just like that, you know. So no, I resonate with it.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for that, White Wolf. I appreciate that because that is the reason for me bringing you on. Okay. The reason for me bringing you on is that you found the light somehow. I don't care how you found it, but I like people to hear stories because they could say, wait a minute, if he could do it at such a young age, I could do it.
Absolutely.
Took me a long time, White Wolf. It took me, hey, look, stroke, 64 years old. I mean, I was on a spiritual path. Okay. Even when you're on a spiritual path, if there's something you're not understanding and law of attraction kicks your ass, okay, along the way, you'll find your way back out, and and learning to appreciate all of those lessons
Absolutely. Yeah.
is what's going to propel you further toward God, because that's what they were. Okay. So focusing on the good, or the light, or the positive in every lesson that you've got. Hey, listen, anytime you gotten your ass kicked as a kid in your young life, okay, let me ask you this direct question. Can you not stand there and say, you know what, it taught me this or it taught me that? Okay. You're able to look back at it with some kind of we call that appreciation for the lessons in my life. Okay. So tell me, as a young boy, what your life was like and how you came out of that.
Well, when I became 9, my parents, my mom and dad, who are not my guardians, but my aunt and uncle took guardianship of me when I was 9.
Okay.
My mom and dad were addicts, and
Okay.
I lived in Florida for 11 years, grew up there, and I didn't see my mom and dad for a long time. And my mom, when I went to see her when I was like 12 or 13, when I lost my mom, she died mixing medications.
I'm so sorry.
So no, I could talk to her anytime I'd like. She helped me find Carla. So thank you, mom, and my sister. So um they were addicts. They were, it hurt my family very bad because of this decisions that my dad made, my mom made, and then it kind of made my sister kind of stay with my mom and dad. And when I was 15 or 16, I lost, and I was, going to school in Florida, and I lost my sister. She was brutally raped and murdered. And so I grew up in Florida, and it was like I had to get away from there. There was something about Florida in my life. I had to be there with my aunt and uncle to raise me up and to help me through all this. And in high school, I developed like seizures, and maybe it was because I didn't deal with it. Maybe it was my guidance system kicking in. I don't know. Maybe, but freshman year I had to be taken out, and then I went through sophomore year of high school, and I didn't have a learning disability. My family thought I did, and I didn't. So I had my aunt and uncle help me out with that, and so I had these seizures in high school, and I had to be taken out freshman year, and went through sophomore year fine, but then junior year started happening. I would kind of seize up, and I was like, it's like I was helpless, it was like I couldn't do anything, and I would have blurred vision. And I said this in one of my lives, and I actually teared up a little bit because it was a very negative time in my life. I had to be homeschooled. And then it got to the point where I was so far behind that I couldn't catch up. I just
Okay.
couldn't catch up. And my uncle was like, we're just going to take you out of school. And then I had to, I was lost. I was very depressed. And then I found, a job at the golf course where I worked 12 days straight for 3 years. And I got kind of really tired of that. But I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt like a failure, and I felt like I was never going to make anyone else happy. And then I realized I had to really try to make myself happy. I moved out of my parents, my guardians, excuse me, condo, moved in with my roommate. And I didn't start the spiritual work when I was with my roommate, but I was seeing Carla, and I kept bumping into her. And then when I was with her and we went to Arizona, and I had these appointments, it was like it was leading me to get away from that job because it was a negative part of my life, and I wasn't being fulfilled. And then when I basically just asked one night while I was in my bed, what I really, really wanted, and that I wanted to change. I wanted to find my best friend. I wanted to do something that it makes me feel passionate, and then it was like I got these appointments, and she said, Spirit says, let's do the work together. And then from then on, I started doing live feeds, started tracking attention, and my life has been a living prophecy ever since I took a chance on myself, and I went against my friends, my family, quit my job. When I started changing my reality, and I made a radical change, and I altered it, and we collapsed timelines together. I altered her reality, she altered my reality. I collapsed timelines, and then all of a sudden I'm here with you, doing this interview, which is
Oh,
really amazing.
okay. So White Wolf, how do you how do you feel about yourself? All right, here is what I'm seeing, what Spirit's given me. Look, for anyone to go through a childhood like that, many of you have, And to go from where you were to where you are now, is that not amazing?
It
Okay.
is. Yeah,
Listen, part of being a light worker, I feel, is this is the way I'm getting it. You go through some pretty hard fires,
absolutely.
okay, so that you can speak from experience, okay? Can anyone come up to you and say, well, you had a Disney World childhood? You had a rough time, kid, and you made it through, okay? And so look at where you are now. You're coming on live feeds and you're helping people to heal. So that is divinity in human form. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is embrace your horrible experiences
Absolutely.
of the past as victories. Hey, look, they're victories. You got here. You're on this show. You made it here onto this live feed listening to this young man and myself today. So embrace that, appreciate it, because you're a friggin' hero. You made it through some tough shit, man, to come here and talk to me the way you are now, and to help people to understand that. Here's the Because you made the choice. Let me take this further. You made the choice to go to the light, to ask God for help. Okay? Instead of saying to God, hey, why did you do this to me? Why did you make me suffer? Hey, look, it's okay to talk to God and tell him your problems. That's the acknowledgement and the self-compassion part. But to live there in such a way that you feel like you can never get out of it is not true. You can. You could turn your life around no matter what you've been through. This little boy has gone through a tough childhood. Look at who he is now, because he made the choice to go to the light, to ask for help. Make the choice and follow the light all the time, guys. What I'm trying to say is looking at your past experiences as learning points or victories, or any kind of energy of hey, I must be really something, you know? White Wolf, that's what I'm trying to get people to do. Look at your past negative. Okay, it was hard. I'm not saying it wasn't hard. You got your ass kicked. But you look at where you are now. You're on a live, you're on a place to heal. You're going to be speaking and healing in front of thousands of people. You've turned your life around at such a young age. That's a friggin' blessing. Okay. And we know a lot of people like this. So if it's you just having a conversation with them and helping them to appreciate themselves, that's moving them toward the light. Hey, the fact that you were physically abused or mentally abused, and for you to come out being such a compassionate person, I want to bring focus to that. I want you to bring focus to that. If you went through such a horrible experience and have the capacity to still love, okay, you are living God. You are a light worker. You are God's work in progress right here on earth, right where you are right now. So use that. Some people choose to pick up an assault rifle and go shoot up schools. They're hurting inside. Okay, you
Yeah.
can make a choice either way. I'm telling you, things can go a lot better for you if you choose the light, like you did.
Yeah.
I, I'm glad you didn't pick up an assault rifle and go
Yeah.
the other way. I'm really happy to be here with you and for you to tell your story in such a way that's so inspiring. And
Well,
yes,
I felt like I went through all that, and it really just made me a better person.
it made you a better person.
Yeah.
So When you say
Absolutely.
that, this is what I'm trying to focus in on. When you say it made me a better person, it made me
Uh-huh.
stronger, that is in the law of vibration, self appreciation. Okay. If you say it made me unworthy, it made me a piece of shit. Hey, that's what you're going to get more of.
Yeah.
He's choosing the light. Okay. So understand the language of this discussion here, guys. This is how the law of attraction works. Instead of me rolling up into a ball and wanting to die
Right.
and saying, hey, life treated me badly, how about saying, hey, I'm pretty friggin' badass after what I went through, and look at who I am, and appreciating myself, and now you're propelling yourself up there. Again, White Wolf, you could see that I'm trying to translate this into street talk so
Right.
that people
Right.
can
Right.
see that victimization is not a place you want to stay in. Okay, we all go through shit. I get it. It's tough. You can seek the services of a friend, a helper, a light worker. That's what God put us here for, to help each other. Okay, go have a conversation with this fella. He'll tell you that he'll help you out of it. So I'm trying to show people to get out of their miserable, stuck energy in
Absolutely.
compassionate ways, and ways to find the light. Find a healing, find an EFT guy, find a healer like White Wolf. Find somebody that can help you to understand this stuff. Because let's face it, White Wolf, when I went to Catholic school and I was told as a little boy, if you're bad, you're going to go to hell. And I said, what kind of loving God would send me to hell? It wasn't resonating, even as a little boy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm not knocking the Catholic Church, but what I don't agree with is they had to use tactics to help me stay in line. So that I
Yeah.
don't agree with.
I don't either. Yeah.
So in our search for the light, we found our way out of those old belief systems. And some people are still stuck in them. If any religious organization is telling you to be afraid and that's the way you got to live, you may want to look at that.
Yeah.
You may want to look at that because there are some organizations that try to instill fear on their people to keep them in line, in check. And I don't want to talk about religion because it seems
It
to,
divides people.
yeah,
You know. Yeah.
it's, I don't like to cross any boundaries of belief. I could still go to church and a Catholic church and find peace with Jesus and the saints and Blessed Mother and God the Father and all of that old paradigm. I still find peace with it and I can still go. I haven't gone in a while, but I still can go and
Of course.
celebrate my old heritage in the Italian tradition with all of that stuff. I'm not telling people not to do that, but if anybody is preaching that you got to be afraid of something, I would look at that and say, I don't know. God didn't make me to be afraid.
No.
I mean, He gave you a human emotional system, that you're going to feel fear and love, and you're going to go up and down that vibratory scale, and that there's ways to work with this stuff. Okay. Now, maybe I'm all over the place with what I'm saying, White Wolf, but what comes to you? Then I'm going to ask you if you'd like to do a little, process or a healing or something for us.
Well, what comes to me is
Go ahead.
that
Channel
people
away, my brother.
like with religion, and I have, a father figure who is like a diehard, like, Christian. You got to memorize the Bible, and it's not that you don't have to search for what Jesus said or what Buddha said, but if you're channeling God's source energy and you're doing it with grace and with a good intention, and that you're a good person and it's filled with love, you know, God works his way on everybody, on the Buddhists, on the Catholics, on the Christians. They all have their place, even though we don't agree with them. It's not a matter of who's agreeing with who and who's more powerful than who and who's really right. It's the fact that God is moving his way around the universe. I mean, I hear a pastor talk about the same things that I talk about. I hear, you know, um, I can't remember the guy's name, but we watched him last night, Duranova Desmeshlik. He, you know, was saying something on his program. I mean, I hear David Wilcox say something I said. So that means really, rather it's a scientist, rather it's a Catholic, a pastor. I hear them like say the exact same thing. It might not be the same words. It might not be the same phrasing.
I
It might be in a
understand.
different format, but that means that God is moving his way around all of us. And then we can be the creator and we can be of service all the time, even in our slumber, even when we're at our lowest, we're always of service.
When the intention uh, is of love, is of God. When the intention, we're always going to hit the lows, but when the intention is of love, even through our fear, we're acting we're acting in, how would you say, in alignment with spirit. So there could be a lot of different takeaways from this, White Wolf, that people say, hey, okay, even when I'm having a bad day, does it mean I'm still with God? Well, if you set that intention,
Of
yeah,
course. Yeah.
there is, White Wolf, there is something I want you to address publicly, as you have on many lives, about people owning their power. Okay, I've heard you talk about it several times, and when I say own your power, what comes to you in your divine channel? Own your power.
That you know your truth,
Okay,
that you let no one shake you, and that you take responsibility for your life and you go out there, even though if people are going to hate your self image, they may, on the surface in their perception, it looks like it's not filled with grace and love. But when you have people that comment on your thing and they're like, oh, wow, you're amazing. You did this for me, that in itself, when you are talking, you have words of wisdom that have heart healing. So when you're exercising your truth, that's you claiming your power. That's you. If you had your dignity stripped away from you and you're crying on a live feed and you're being vulnerable, that is even claiming your power in a sense. Even you healing is gaining your power. The internal work, the negative beliefs that come up, what's inside here that you're healing is really you trying to claim back your power and find your purpose. And once you do that, then you help other people claim their power and know what they can do from what you're doing.
that's very well said. Thank you. Is there any kind of I mean, I don't know if you're equipped, or I didn't ask you to bring anything. What do you do in the sense of that when you do a prayer or a healing, White Wolf, that maybe you could share with us right now?
Like sometimes in my practices, I start off by people getting into a more like before I start the live, I tell them to, you know, even say an affirmation to themselves. Like, for example, I'll say, you know, say this to yourself: I am serene, I am powerful, and I am confident. And I try to tell them that you're the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. You're the monad, the I am presence, that you in this moment are revamping your state of being. So I try to not only be inspirational and empowering, but when they're doing that, they have their eyes closed, they're drifting out of their body, so to speak, and they're aligning themselves with their true feeling state, their state of being. And so when I do that in my practices or my lives or whatever, I'm setting the intention for the whole segment. And I might go on for like 20 minutes. I might, go on and be like, you're the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, the infinite creator, whatever resonates with them, be your own resonance, be your own preference. And then when they're in that meditative state and they're drifting out of their body and they're going to maybe their comfort zone, maybe they're going to a gold temple. It could be a whole plethora of things, but they're going into that spot where they're feeling the internal bliss, where they're feeling the golden aura in their third eye, and they're getting into what we would call the God state, if you will.
Okay. All right, you said that you usually do this before the lives. White Wolf, is there anything we can do right now as a closing, like maybe like a 5-minute meditation that you can take us through? I don't know, because I know that you've said that you usually do this before, but
But no, hell, if you want to do it right now,
yeah, let's do something quick right now to look, we've put a lot of truth, what we feel is truth, out there today. And guys, here is something I'm hoping you're picking up from both of us. You have your own truth, okay? I'm listening to this young man. You're hearing me blabber. We got our own truth, okay? Take what resonates with you and own it, or throw it all away and go out there and speak your own truth, okay? What I'm saying is exercise your God source power and energy to make your own. You're important. You have something to say and to show the world. So, with that being said, White Wolf, take us through a little meditation or whatever you'd like to do, clearing, so that we can go forward with in the rest of our day, letting this energy of love sink into our body and our mind and our spirit, so that we can have a shift in our reality towards the light. How's that? There's a good intention.
Okay. Do you want me to
You lead us.
use a crystal or just anything?
You
Okay.
can use a crystal if you like, and I'd like you to explain why you would use a crystal. What does that represent to you?
It has spiritual technology. It has
Oh,
light, and that's why the golden era of Atlantis. That's why people used crystals.
I got one here.
Yeah.
Okay, they carry energy, and
Hmm.
if we how would you say, uh, believe that they carry good energy, and we like to use it, then it's so. Okay, it's not that this thing is magic.
Yeah.
We are setting the intention that the good energy in this, it's of God, and I'm using it. Okay, I'm gonna let this help me today. I use this in my healings with people. My
Yeah.
terminated. What do we call this?
Um,
That's a double. A double. They call it a double-sided. Somebody's gonna say something.
I'm not sure.
Something. Guys, what is this called? Speak up. Come on. What kind of crystal is this?
I have no clue.
Somebody's gonna tell us. Magic is intention. Okay, I love my crystals. Mystical Gypsy. Clear crystal quartz wand. Oh, is that what this is, Asha? Clear quartz? Quartz? Okay, it's a crystal quartz I'm getting from our crowd. But White Wolf, take us into something. Use whatever tools you feel like you'd like to.
I'm gonna do this exercise that I got from one of my books. It's just for a moment.
I appreciate it.
We are going to drift out of our bodies, and
Okay.
we are going to be going into the God state. So I don't want you to think of no body. I don't want you to think of no time. I don't want you to think of the outside world for a moment. And I want you to love yourself for the first time, maybe. I want you to become the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. And that you are of service all the time. Even if you are asleep, even if you're at your worst hour, even if you're exhausted, you're always at service. God source energy right now is in our presence, and He is helping us and He is guiding us through the path of self-realization. And you're doing this right now. You're connecting with everybody through this camera, and you're feeling the connection. You don't know John or I from Adam, but we love each other. We sense that brotherly admiration. So, brothers and sisters, for a moment, if there's anything in the past that you need to forgive, please forgive yourself. And I want you guys to really examine your life. And are you doing what's for the highest good of all? Because you are the I am. You are everything. You are creation. You are lifting the veil of amnesia right now. You are seeing through the eyes of an enlightened individual. You are an evolved spirit in the physical body. You are as wise as God source energy, even though you are not God source energy, but you in this moment are a God. And feel that and become that and embody that. You are the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. Oracle because you speak blessings on people's lives and you speak prophecies. And then love is being of service and connecting and believing that we are all one, that we are one with the universe. And light is the spiritual technology that we all have within us that is in your third eye as we speak. You are feeling a golden aura, and you are on the Anticarana bridge, where you are going through the stellar gateway as we speak, and you are examining all of your chakras, all 12 of them. And we're going to invoke the source dragons to help us right now. Just know that you feel really, really at peace. Just know that you feel really, really good right now. And that nothing can stop you. And that you are in the God state. That you are love, you are abundance, you are joy, you are happiness, you are everything that you want to be in this moment. And feel that and resonate in that and become that. If you were abused sexually, if you were attacked as a child, if you went through absolute hell to get to where you are today, they call it a dark night of the soul. And I want you to give yourself a hug right now. And I want your heart to be healed. Just know that the Intergalactic Council is also here right now. And they love what you're doing. And they loved how you have expanded. They love how you have grown. And that the 12 aspects of you, the monad, the brothers, sisters, cousins that are on the same path as you are with you in this moment. That you are all in alignment for the good of humanity in this moment. We are the consciousness grid that encompasses our earth. And just know that in this moment, that you're being of service And you've done everything that you've needed to do since the dawning of mankind. And you are following your purpose, your calling, your passion, your inspiration. And you are confident. And you are filled with endless love, universal love. And that in this moment, that we are all interconnected into this universe. That right now, everybody who is watching this, all across the world, it does not matter, is receiving a healing if you are listening to this right now. And if you have watched this feed, you have passed the test. You went through absolute hell to get here, and you surpassed it, and you rose above your conditions. And what you are is the most immaculate, revamped, updated version of you. In this moment, you are a God. And what do we do as gods? We speak blessings over people's lives. We change them. We innovate. We create. We reinvigorate people so they don't have to live a miserable existence as everybody else has. And that God's source energy is taking care of anything, that we can attract anything, that we can literally do anything that we think is impossible. It is truly possible. Don't leave this state just yet. Take a deep breath. And relax and let go of resentment, of anger, of shame, and claim respect, dignity of yourself for the first time, maybe ever. And I want you to examine how that feels like. Does it feel good? Do you feel really, really good right now? Do you cherish this moment as if it was your last and that you could die in this moment and you will not have any regret of what you've done because you know that you've done what God's source energy wants you to do? And that our words of wisdom have heart healing activations. That every time we connect with source, that we become a source for someone else. And it does not matter that there's only 3 people on this live feed right now. It doesn't matter if there's 1 person watching right now. But the fact that you came on here today and you heard the conversation between me and John means that you have the potential of becoming your own God, becoming your own master, becoming the prophecy that is your life right now. And it doesn't matter if you're in a really meditative state. It doesn't matter if you're focusing on an object. It doesn't matter if you have your eyes open, because you know the power that is here right now, that is emanating from me and this man, and from God, from our higher selves to our physical mind. So the physical mind is not limited. There is no fear. There's no guilt. There's no judgment. There's no shame. And I want every single person to know that I love them. And I all want you to say to yourselves that you love yourself in this moment. You can say it out loud. You can say it in your mind. And
and breathe this in, breathe this message in, and let it consume you and make you a better person. Because everybody has the right to get their respect and their dignity back and heal themselves internally so they don't have to be miserable all the time. And when I snap my fingers, you'll come back to, and we'll come back to this feed, and we'll be updated. There will be codes downloaded to you. There will be a clarity that comes over you in this moment. It is unshakable. It's not even the God state anymore. It means that you have virtually became a God, and that you are going to spread that love to humanity so that humanity does not shoot itself in the foot anymore. So when I snap my fingers, you'll come back to, and me and John will finish this segment. But the fact that you listen today means that you are of the highest Christ light, and that you are wonderful, and that you are essential in this moment. That you are needed. We're a team. We're not a one-man band. And I love every single one of you. But if you don't love yourself, if you do not love yourself, just know that you do. That negative belief was not true. You even saying that you don't love yourself means that you're believing that you do. You're believing something that is not true. Just let God's source energy reinvigorate you and become the God that you were meant to be. And feel this in your heart, feel this in your mind, feel this in your spirit. And let us all just be a power of one.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Yeah, I'd like everybody to know, as White Wolf was channeling that, taking us through that, I had the image of an angel, and as the angel rose, it was acting almost like a vacuum in bringing our energy up to God vibration energy, up to God source energy. And I also got the image of that everyone should embrace the spirit animal of an eagle. I suggest look up what a spirit animal eagle is, because you've got a visit from spirit animal eagle today, everyone included. I don't know exactly what the eagle represents, but I'm going to, after I let White Wolf go, I'm going to check it out myself, because it was clear and distinctive. That is how it feels like a very powerful energy. Okay, so Brother White Wolf, I really, really want to thank you for spending time with us today and helping us
of course.
to understand our power. Okay. Yeah. It was finally good to connect with you and meet you.
I felt like we were going to make contact. I just didn't know when.
Yeah. And you know something? Tell my sister Carla someday, you know what? We get together on Zoom. Maybe we could have coffee together and just shoot the shit. It was really, really a joy and a blessing to be with you and to have you share your wisdom with the collective.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it couldn't have worked out any better, I feel. Okay.
Oh,
It was, it really was wonderful to have you, and everything I feel that needed to be said was said. And whoever sees this feed, either now or in the future, know that you've been brought here. Let's see any comments. I heard my ancestors and guides cheering with a bright light. Mystical Gypsy said that. Thank you. Thank you for that, sweetie. Beautiful collective energy you have. I'm sure that's for White Wolf. Thank you, White Wolf and John. I appreciate you both. We appreciate you, Mystical Gypsy. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Jersey and White Wolf, Jen Marie says. Yeah, that's me. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for showing up, honey. And for everyone that watches, perhaps in the future on a replay, thank you for spending the time and coming here. And again, White Wolf, thank you for your sharing your love and energy with us today. And I know I'll see you down the road, brother.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay, take care. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
Bye now.